Let's talk about the iconic hotel that we're in today. How many of you are staying here at the Eden Rock? Oh, yeah, I love it. Isn't it so nice to come to a place that has just such a sense of place? So up next on the agenda, we'll be hearing from Martin Smith, GM here at the Eden Rock. He's being interviewed by Michael Wolf, the CEO of ResortPass. Come on up, guys.
Thank you, Jacqueline, and welcome everyone. Excited to be here. My name is Michael Wolf, and I'm the CEO of ResortPass, and we enable day access to the luxury hospitality industry. So we work with thousands of hotels, including Ritz-Carlton, Four Seasons, Waldorf Astoria, Fairmont, and many others. And one of those hotels is the Eden Rock. So excited to be here with Martin, one of our longtime partners. Welcome, Martin.
Glad to be here, Michael.
Thank you. So I guess to just get started, maybe just tell us a little bit about kind of your journey in hospitality and how you're sitting here at the Eden Rock today.
My goodness, I grew up in Southern Africa with a mining family, and I learned very early on that I did not want to go underground. So I figured a hotel industry was for me. And back in the 80s, I went to the University of Surrey in Guildford, and I was lucky enough to get an exchange program to the United States to be a to go to University of Michigan State to coach rugby. And then I went to the Boca Raton Hotel and Country Club as a management trainee. Fell in love with the US, went back and finished my degree and came over here. Long story from there.
Cool. Well, I think some people might know that this hotel has iconic history. Maybe you can speak a little bit about that.
Yeah, so the Eden Rock opened in 1955, and in the Miami modern era, it's the third hotel of Morris Lapidus. Lapidus is, some say he created Miami modern. So the San Sushi was in 1949. Our wonderful neighbor next door, it was in 54, was the Fontainebleau, and we opened in 1955. Lapidus went on also to build the Atlantis up north, which is now the St. Regis. He then built the legendary El San Juan Hotel in Puerto Rico. So he's done a lot of great things, but we opened in 1955, and it's funny that Novak and Mufsum were partners, and they were partners that built the Fontainebleau. They had a falling out. Mufsum hired Lapidus to build this, to spite his neighbor next door, and he built a hotel, and the instruction was, I don't want any French like you have next door, that's for the kids. I want the most elegant hotel in the world, and when he opened, it was in the US, it was considered the most elegant hotel. So that's a brief history, and here we are now. Now we have 621 rooms in 2 towers, and we also host the Noble Hotel on the top 8 floors of the Resort Tower.
Actually, if you go to on preparation for today, I went to the website and you talk a lot about the history there. If people are interested, I'm kind of a history dork.
Yeah.
So let's talk about guest experience, something that kind of is a shared kind of background of both of us. First, just on your side, what are some things that you guys are focused on in the near term in terms of kind of new, innovative pieces of the guest experience?
Really, for us, we want to focus on who we are, the history, but with guest experience, we want to make it as personal as possible. And we want to make sure that every single day there is some activity going on in the hotel. There is something to do. We're all fighting the resort fee battle. So we need to make sure we add value for that resort fee. So we're always trying to make sure there's something in the lobby bar, there's something at the pool, there's something at the restaurant going on. We have afternoon tea every day, Japanese style in Nobu. We have once a month, we have origami lessons in the lobby. We have a Japanese tea ceremony. So we're trying to create activities that people go back and say, I really enjoyed staying there because I learned something and I had fun.
Okay. So we've seen on our side, at the ResortPass side, kind of incredible reviews of this property and people loving to come here for the day. So obviously it's like kind of innovative revenue stream that's different from the traditional just about the overnight guest. Can you speak a little bit about how you think about ancillary revenue?
Yeah, particularly I would talk about ResortPass, right? How it's helped us. You're here, but it's been absolutely amazing for us. If you think about this convention and you're here today, we would have seen the pool usage yesterday, even though Eden Rock was sold out. We would have seen the pool usage and it was down compared to normal. We would have been able to yesterday put pool passes and cabana passes, put it on your website, and maybe add another 100 people to the operation today. But two things, it's obviously gonna generate revenue. It's obviously helpful to the hotel, but it's most important that it allows us to keep the staff working. And so this is a tool that allows us to fill valleys and keep people working, because the worst thing we can have in this business is those valleys when we don't have hours for hourly staff. They're going to go find a job somewhere else. And to train an employee is $4,000 to $5,000. So anything we can do to keep the valleys down, we do. So ResortPass is probably 10% additional revenue at the beach, the swimming pool. So it's been absolutely incredible. We try to do other things. We have bikes, we have lots of other things, but ResortPass just allowed us to be dynamic, to make adjustments rather quickly.
Tell me that anecdote you shared with me about the parking piece as well.
So it's when you come to Miami Beach, you want to come to the ocean or to the restaurant. The one thing that kills you is parking. It's $50 a day to park here. If you're valet, if you're going to find a city parking spot after 10 o'clock in the morning, there's nothing left. What we found with ResortPass is people Ubering in. So we now have this, we don't have a backlog of valet issues at the ramp. We don't have guests that have come all the way here and can't get in because there's nowhere to park. So the resort guests, the ResortPass guests are coming in Ubers. They're obviously, that's their mode of transport, but it's again, another game changer.
Yeah. And another thing we were touching on actually is that a lot of the guests here in the Miami market are people who are from the cruises. And so they get in at 9 a.m. on the cruises, they literally have nowhere to go. So historically they would go sit in the airport, their flight's out at 6 p.m., they would spend 9 hours in the airport. And now they get to enjoy a luxury resort. So kind of win-win for everyone.
That was knowledge from Michael yesterday. I'll be on the phone to the cruise lines this week. We haven't gone after those folks, but he brought it up yesterday, and I'm like, we will go have some chat.
He didn't believe me actually when I shared
that.
And my guess is 30% of the guests who are coming right off of a cruise ship to the property. So kind of thinking about 2024, like as running kind of one of the biggest hotels here in Miami.
Yeah.
What are some of the things kind of focus trends, other things that you're focused on right now?
Before I answer that, I think I should ask you. You've asked all the questions. What has ResortPass got planned for us?
Fair question. I like it. So I think that where we are with day access is we're truly just at the beginning of that even concept. If we go out on Collins right now, down outside, 9 out of 10 people will have never heard of the idea of day access in hospitality. So the main kind of goal, honestly, in 24 is introducing this concept to the world. And so we've started to do that. We've had the luxury of having sent millions of guests to hotels and work with thousands of partners, but yet most people have never even heard of the concept, let alone had the experience. So that's kind of our main goal in 24. But kind of the other part of that is that we sit on the world's largest repository of data when it comes to day access. So again, those millions of guests, we know what they're doing, what they enjoy doing, what they want to do. And so we'll be introducing, not going to announce anything right here quite yet, but a number of new products and services that kind of is based literally on that data that we sit on, which is the world's largest repository of data for the day access industry.
And I find that hard to believe. Right? If I put 25 pool passes on your site today, they'd be full tomorrow.
Yeah.
Imagine.
And that's with most people not even knowing in Miami the concept exists.
Which is shocking.
Yeah.
Because it works well. All right, so back to your question there.
What about you guys in 24? What's kind of the focus here? What are some of the trends that you're seeing?
Well, if you're staying in Eden Rock, you saw the robots running up and down the guest corridors. We're sampling 6 robots to vacuum clean the corridors, and they've really worked well. So using robotics to help us, we have a test early next year where we're going to have a vending machine that also has a robot attached, and it will deliver the amount. When you need a toothbrush, when you need something that is never going to get stuck up with, if there's a guest issue, the houseman is stuck there. These robots, we're going to see how they work. So we're going to look at that. and continue digitalization of the property. We're an old property. If you're staying in, you'll still see we have flyers in the room, we have the postcards in the room. We need to get to, next year we're installing digital billboards all around the property, so it's interactive and it's much quicker. So we're going to focus on digitalization, robotics, and AI.
What about kind of your, like from a management, you've been at a lot of different properties. What kind of actually works? So what is the thing that you would say is like the signature piece of managing, like the asset piece of this kind of from the hotel side?
It all depends who you are. So for us, and everybody that works here, because we all believe the same thing, the number one asset is the people. So you manage by walking around. Hopefully you engage staff. You saw staff today that said good morning, they smiled. We also tell the managers every single day, say hi to the guests, but please shake the hand of the staff and say thank you, because without them, we're nothing. So the number one asset is always the staff, and we have all the management is focused on how do we make their lives better. Again, I mentioned turnover is $5,000 an employee. In 2 years, we've come down from 64. This year, we're going to have turnover of 24%. So people want to come to work here. We need to focus on that. The cafeteria, how good is the cafeteria? How good are the meals? Why do we only serve one meal? They work hard for us. So it's open at breakfast. You can get a croissant, you can get some coffee. This year we're adding espresso cappuccino machines, soft serve ice cream. So that's the asset that's important, right? But the other asset is the physical building. I think we talked the other day, you can't manage it by writing memos and reading manuals. You got to physically get up and walk your property. So I walk the property morning and night. But just looking, saying hi to the staff, but looking, what do I see that's wrong? So we can keep an ongoing list to make improvements. And then the other is, don't think you know everything, right? Hire a company to come in and evaluate your building. And we just did that again this year. So a professional engineering firm is going to give you a 10-year document saying, this is what you need to do to keep your hotel running in 10 years. It helps. It's very difficult to me to go to the owner and say, oh, we need to spend $2.6 million next year on air conditioning units on the roof. An engineering firm, that report, they will believe that report. So again, for us here, it's management by walking around. Really focus on the most important asset, which is the staff. If the staff are happy and you're treating them nicely, they will make the guests. If we get amazing Revenate and TripAdvisor scores, the building is 1955. We have challenges from old buildings. We have a wonderful fire alarm that went off this morning. Shouldn't happen. It happens too often, but at least we know it works. But again, if I can say, the asset is amazing. The product, this is no better location. But no matter what we do, if we don't have staff, we have nothing. So hopefully I answered your question.
No, you did. I will say last night when we were chatting a little bit, the thing that kind of stuck out the most was I was asking about kind of amenities of the hotel. And the thing that you really wanted to focus on the most was about the new cafeteria for the employees.
Yeah.
And so like, again, like it kind of, it's what you're thinking about. It's kind of what, yeah, what you're talking about. The other thing that, again, is that you stay at the hotel as well.
Yeah.
So I think tonight even you're sleeping
yeah.
at the hotel. So there's nothing, that's not even walking the hotel, that's staying in the hotel.
I think the older GMs in the building will know that. I grew up in, doing this. So when I lived in Egypt, I lived in the hotel. When I was on Scrub Island, I lived at Scrub Island. When I was at the St. Regis in Puerto Rico, I lived there. So even when I come back to US properties, I make sure it's in my contract that a minimum of 2 nights a week. Even if it's slow, I stay here 2 nights a week. I want to walk around at night, the lights, talk to the staff. Most of us, we get to this level and we go home at 6 o'clock at night. We don't know the night staff. We don't know what happens. So by staying here, you get to see it. The owners thought I was crazy.
But to ask for it, or
do you want to stay longer? And it's like who doesn't want to stay in paradise? But you get to see stuff, and you get to see another 2/3 of your staff that most of us don't know. Once we get to that executive level or a department head, we tend to work our shift, we work really hard, and go home. And that tends to be, for most people, is 9 to 5 or 8 to 6 or whatever those hours are. What about all the people that work from 4 to 11 and from 11 to 7? So by staying here, I get to see those people. Yeah.
Does it feel culturally different, like those folks or those shifts, or does it kind of feel pretty consistent?
No, it's very hard. When I was a management trainee, I worked the graveyard shift. Those people deserve medals. It's like, and they have unique personalities because most of us don't. We like to sleep when they're awake. So they're different in their own way, but they're also amazing. You know, they're the people that when the fire alarm goes off at 4 o'clock in the morning, those 5 or 6 people that get everything moving, they handle things incredibly well. Right? When we do it during the day, there's 100 people running around. They seem to make it work when there's only 4. Thank goodness.
In our last few minutes here, maybe talk a little bit more 24. Kind of what are some of the other kind of unique things that you guys are focused on, or some things you're doing at the hotel?
Well, we talked the other day about fitness, right? Fitness and health. So once a month, right now we have a program called Elevate on the lower level pool. We have there's a famous Miami instructor comes and does a HIIT class, and then I forgot the name of the lab. There's a lab that comes, Lab Theory. They come with these portable ice baths. They blow them up, so we have this whole class, and then people learn how to use the ice baths. And then you're in Miami, so it's followed by a DJ and loud music and some champagne. And it's like, so you work out with a great instructor, you get to see this new technology, and then you get to have a few cocktails and enjoy the pool. So we want to do more of those things. We do things like we have doggy yoga. So one of our charities we support here is dogs. If you notice when you go in the lobby, there's a banner there with a box underneath. We're raising money for the dog shelter. So every month we do doggy yoga. Next year we're starting paddle yoga. We just signed an agreement with the charter yacht company. We own the marina across the street, the 8 slips, so we should start using it. We just signed with them, so the guests will be able to go see the yacht they could possibly charter for the day. It's right across the street. We're going to combine that with meals and bartenders, and then we're going to sign an agreement with an exotic car company and luxury cars and have them available, because there's something about Miami. People come here and they're, for some reason, willing to spend $1,000 to drive a car at 2 miles an hour with the roof down. Potentially the car goes 200 miles an hour, but for $1,200 you can go 5 miles an hour down the street. So, and we're going to add that next year.
Can we put those on ResortPass?
Never thought about that. Never thought about that.
We actually do quite a bit of that, like kind of bike
Yeah.
rentals and kind of other kind of like the other pieces of the amenities, like the programs and activities that happen at hotels.
So I think, for 24, it's more activities. How do we get more stuff? Right now, we have quarterly activities in the Pompeii on the original side. We do Pompeii Cabaret, which is entertainment, burlesque shows, trying to do stuff that's generational. Not trying to do, if you go to Miami, everybody's a club. Everybody's got loud music. It's boom, it's loud. You can't have a conversation. We're trying to do stuff that's a little more sophisticated. Some will say risque, but it's fun, right? And so we do once a quarter. How do we get those next year to do one every 2 months?
Okay, I think our last question, you're our host, so thank you for hosting all of us.
Thank you for coming.
People are here from all over the world, so you're kind of like the most like native Miami in some ways. What do you want people to do, whether at the hotel or something in Miami that's like kind of an insider tip or trick or something?
I don't know. When I came here first time 20 years ago, I went to Calle Ocho, right? So 8th Avenue. It's a Cuban district. Coffee, food, atmosphere, and there's still Cubans there. Not Miami. It's an amazing place to go. But if you're staying here or you're staying anywhere on the beach, get on one of those bikes that everybody has and ride the boardwalk. You get to see all of Miami. It's incredible. And to have a boardwalk like that is pretty special. And I see those bikes sitting there every day and not enough users. So.
Do you ever ride yourself?
No.
Okay.
I'm a bad example.
Why don't we go out today?
They work me too hard here. They work me too hard. But Calle Ocho, go to Little Haiti, everybody's gonna go to South Beach, right? Everybody's gonna go to Brickell. If you come, go to the neighborhoods. Go to Little Haiti. Go to Calle Ocho. Go see authentic Miami. It's all authentic, but those, if you go to work in a hotel, the Cubans in the hotel, there's Haitians in the hotel. That culture is everywhere for us.
Right.
So go to see those neighborhoods.
Cool. Martin, thank you so much.
Thank you. My pleasure.